So here I am, minding my own business, drinking a cup of tea, playing around with the Game Boy, and this game comes and hits me in the face. I'd completely forgotten about it, but what exactly is it? Is it a Wario game? Wario, you know him. He's that douche you met up in your hood after trekking through Swaziland and rescuing Princess Daisy. Yeah, it's that pointy-eared twat again, with his portly strength and lack of manners. Well, now he is working it for the coinage as part of this money-spinning idea. Wario's met Bomberman, and like everyone else, his first thought is to kill it with fire. But of course someone's there to stop him, you know, the illustrious and terribly cute white Bomberman by now. Yes, we know his games suck these days, but before the Pokemon RPG crap was introduced, he was in some very addictive puzzle-type games involving bombs and blocks. It was all terribly good. Now, what would we get if we combined Wario, the King of Self-Harm, with Bomberman? No, nothing that bad. You may have noticed that this game is featuring Bomberman, though, despite the fact it's his own game with a new character added. What chip? What we do have, however, is really still a Bomberman game at its core. In fact, it's literally Bomberman for the Game Boy in Japan, without any of this Wario nonsense at all. When this game's sequel, Bomberman Game Boy 2, came out in the West, it was just titled Bomberman Game Boy, because of this Wario relabeling. The story's also rushed to hell. Wario, being the adventuring sort that he is, has stumbled across Bomberman's world, and being the pyromaniac that he is, he also decides the best course of action is to blow it out of existence. Now, obviously Bomberman doesn't like this very much, and I guess that creates the fact that he's a boss. Now, I know that Wario isn't the most stable of characters from the Marioverse, but I'd wager that complete destruction and murder are well out of his range, especially if there's no money involved. When you begin a new game, you face a choice, Bomberman or Wario. Choosing either will pit you directly against clones of the other character. These clones increase in number and intelligence as you progress, creating a boss battle every 4th level. Otherwise, there's no real difference between the two characters. What, they couldn't mix it up a little? Make Bomberman faster than Wario, but have Wario able to carry more bombs by default or something? Would have been better than a redundant choice. The rules are simple. You need to plant bombs, which explode after a time to defeat the other characters on the board. Clearing the level means taking out all the opposition. There's a lot more strategy to proceedings, however. Your bombs don't discriminate, meaning they'll burn you up just as quickly as they would an opponent, and without power-ups you cannot intersect or move them once planted, so you can effectively block yourself in with one and have nothing else to do but go bye-bye. If an opponent plants a bomb ahead of you when you place one, you'll also be pinned in. You'll have to outthink them, usually at high speed.
What?
Bosses are where the strategy and frustration hit home most. It's in these where the bulk of the challenge is found. You'll die in one hit and bosses won't. Without power-ups, you're in for a hellish time. And even with them, landing hits on a boss that ignores terrain can be a pain. Getting close to a boss is even worse. There's no battery backup saving, instead the game takes on the tried and tested password system. Bomberman and Wario's passwords tend to be reversed, so you can skip to any level as either character once you've reached it, just by noting down the password backwards. There's also a special password to load your chosen character on a bike with maximum powered up bombs. This was also one of those games that supported the Super Game Boy, complete with full colour borders and high quality explosions, added to the game when playing through a Super Nintendo. Obviously it also adds a smattering of colour to the ordinarily monochromatic game. Of course this isn't a bad game. Being a Bomberman battle game is never a bad thing, even if it's such a sellout on paper. It doesn't really matter if you're Wario or Bomberman, it's still pretty good. You can, however, tell that Wario was just slapped onto this game for sales. Him being here adds absolutely nothing to what would otherwise be a handheld Bomberman game that is about the same quality as the NES version. Super Bomberman it ain't. I suppose if you need a pocket Bomberman and happen to carry a classic Game Boy compatible piece of hardware around with you, then this would be a perfect thing. But nowadays you can play better on your iPhone. Today it probably won't hold your attention in the long run.
Hudson
May not have the same clout as Nintendo, but this really should be called Bomberman featuring Wario, because it's really not fair on the kid. It has nothing to do with the Wario Land games, it plays nothing like a Wario game, and it really should be called Bomberman. Really, yeah, I can't extend this with any hyperbole or anything, because that's all the game really has. An extended battle mode with a few bosses thrown in, and Wario inexplicably controlling the bosses, like he's Dr. Eggman or something. That's it, really.